have to say, it would be a wonderful way to travel in a sidecar.
As the iconic Harry Potter film franchise was closing in on its climax, the set provided plenty of pulse-racing stunts and heartfelt send-offs. Today, we're covering the must-know moments from the Deathly Hallows Part 1. How did they pull off the 7 Harrys scene? What was the final day on set like?
I was so upset on the last day. I really was. Everyone was.
Much of the Deathly Hallows Part 1 takes place in the real world, or the Muggle world for you wizards out there. And in order to pull that off, the production found itself filming all over the UK, and having the cast perform in these very real environments. But some sequences were a little too dangerous for actors to do themselves. That was the case for Harry's dangerous ride with Hagrid to the Weasley house. While Daniel Radcliffe was in the sidecar for a shot or two, the rest of the time it was his stunt double, Mark Maley.
I'm yet to travel more than about 3 meters in it, but those 3 meters were some of the funnest I've ever had.
7 identical motorbikes were built for different stunts in the scene, including for flying, flipping upside down, crashing into the water for the landing, and traveling as fast as 40 miles per hour in the actual Liverpool-Queensbury tunnel. Even though Radcliffe missed out on these stunts firsthand, he found the bright side in being represented by Maley.
And also a plus side of having Mark W is that he's legendary for having a very, very nice bump.
The location for the set of Godric's Hollow was dictated largely by an actual cedar tree. Production designer Stuart Craig found the tree in the garden at the legendary Pinewood Studios and built the tiny town with it in mind, using it as the centerpiece of the graveyard. The crew also did quite a number on resident Bathilda Bagshot's creepy home, lining the rooms with dusty boxes, clothes, and even making books that the character had written herself. Inside Bathilda Bagshot's home, Daniel Radcliffe did his own stunts when taking on Voldemort's pet snake, Nagini. To give Daniel the experience of being attacked by CGI Nagini, the stunt coordinator, Greg Powell, used a pole with a boxing glove tied to the end to poke and push Radcliffe.
We've had some crazy things fill in for whatever the creature's supposed to be.
But on one take, Powell went a little overboard and ended up giving Radcliffe a fat lip when the chair he was using as a shield hit him in the face. Radcliffe, however, took the minor injury in stride.
So I had a fat lip for about a day, but it's really calmed down, so I'm feeling pretty good, which is good because I've got a photo shoot on Sunday.
When it comes to filming in real-world locations, Piccadilly Circus in London is apparently a pretty big deal.
You do have to watch the moment where we shut down Piccadilly Circus for the first time in 32 years.
Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson walked through the world-famous site surrounded by an insane 500 extras. The all-night cafe where the trio does battle with Voldemort loyalists has a real-world Easter egg of its own. The crew put up a poster of Equus, a stage play Daniel Radcliffe was starring in at the time. Placing the house elves, Dobby, and Creature in the same space as the actors required a collaboration of on-set stand-ins, actors who voiced the elves, and eventually CGI of the house elves themselves.
I'm a Dobby. So the moves, isn't it? He's Creature, but I'm better.
Stand-ins Diane Gibbons and Bindi Johal worked with the other actors on set, with their performances used as references by the VFX team to create the final sequences with the real Dobby and Creature. Actor Simon McBurney and Toby Jones ultimately voiced the house elves, with Toby Jones even coming on set for Dobby's emotional final scene.
I want to bury him. Properly. Without magic.
With a crazy 261 shooting days on the Deathly Hallows production, the cast and longtime friends had to find ways to keep things fresh on such a long shoot. Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint opted to invent their own game with mini table tennis paddles, hilariously dubbed Dangerball.
For the second ever, but first outdoors, Dangerball 2009 Championships.
Rupert Grint managed to find time to goof off on set as well. Grint and his off-screen twin brothers, Oliver and James Phelps, could usually be found messing around on segways and sneaking into the studio at night.
We've actually been kind of riding our bikes all through the set.
And before filming Wrapped, Rupert, the Phelps twins, and Draco Malfoy actor Tom Felton got a chance to go golfing together, though some were definitely worse than others.
It's not a very good golfer, actually.
Things got a lot more competitive during the chase in the woods scene, where Ron, Harry, and Hermione are on the run from Death Eaters. It wasn't long at all before the trio were treating each take like a race.
They're all going to say to the fastest.
I am.
Emma said Emma, probably, didn't she? She's wrong, I'm faster.
It got so competitive that director David Yates had to remind them that the most important thing was what was best for the film, and not who was the fastest. But Daniel was more than happy to settle it once and for all at a later date.
Call it red carpet next premiere. We'll do it. We'll have a race, man. Make it 100 yards. I'll do it.
When it came time to do Harry and Hermione's steamy kiss, Ron wasn't actually there to see his own Horcrux-induced vision. The intimate scene required that both Daniel and Emma be topless and covered in silver paint. So in order to make the two as comfortable as possible, everyone who didn't need to be on set for it wasn't, including Rupert Grint. Watson confirmed the decision, saying, "They did, yes. It was a closed set, and it was awkward enough without having tons of people come and watch." The first of the original cast to wrap for good was fittingly the Dursleys.
This isn't just goodbye, boy, is it? This is farewell.
Fiona Shaw, Richard Griffiths, and Harry Melling were the first, along with Radcliffe, to film for the Harry Potter series 10 years prior in the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, depending on where you are in the world. In the time since, the family's relationship had evolved off-screen as well, with Radcliffe and Griffiths acting together in a stage play, and Melling and Shaw doing the same. While the epilogue from Part 2 was the final scene, it was not the last thing that was filmed. The final day of filming was done at Leavesden Studios, the same place where they started on the first film 10 years before.
Big space at the back has been reserved for me, so that's what I have to do today.
After the final shot, which had Harry, Ron, and Hermione leaping to escape the Ministry of Magic, the crew surprised them with a heartfelt video chronicling the past 200+ days on the production.
I've loved every minute in it, and thank you all very, very much.
Daniel Radcliffe really got a chance to show off his acting chops when he was tasked with playing 7 versions of Harry that were being impersonated by 7 different characters.
7 Harrys, this is the most complicated scene in the world!
In order to pull this off, Radcliffe was coached by each actor on their character's mannerisms and movements.
It was really fun. It's bloody confusing though.
He managed to impress not only the actors, but David Yates as well.
Dan plays women really well, actually.
While Radcliffe pulled them all off splendidly, he did take to some quicker than others, specifically Emma Watson's Hermione.
Harry, your eyesight really is awful.
Often, it's the details that really elevate a film to the next level, and The Deathly Hallows was no different. These key artistic decisions and contributions came from not only the crew, but even the talented cast as well. Magical tents had been introduced in The Goblet of Fire, and in The Deathly Hallows Part 1. They came back in a big way. Set decorator Stephanie McMillan and production designer Stuart Craig designed a gorgeous magical tent for the setting of Bill Weasley and Fleur Delacour's wedding.
You know, they've got the lights that hover and the tables look good. It is definitely a French influence.
In stark contrast to the grand purple wedding tent is the tiny plain tent Harry, Ron, and Hermione travel with for the bulk of the film.
Yeah, I'm still here.
McMillan and Craig's aim was to make it look almost identical to the one in the Goblet of Fire, at least on the outside.
It's amazing how much, richness and interest you can get out of a couple of sheets of canvas, basically.
Actor Warwick Davis has played more than one character during his time on the Harry Potter films, and the one role that he is probably least recognizable in is Griphook the Goblin. Chief Moldmaker led a team of artists that worked together to give Davis his goblin face. Each piece of the prosthetic mask had to be carefully placed on one at a time, in a process that took about 4 hours to apply and another hour to remove.
Consider yourself lucky, goblin.
The prosthetic mask and accompanying contacts made it so difficult to see that every goblin actor, including Davis, required a chaperone to get around the set.
Hello. Ready for the office.
Talented actor Ivana Lynch, who portrayed the peculiar Luna Lovegood,
it's a charm, actually. Keeps away the narwhals.
was well known around the production for making artistic contributions to her character. But those contributions extended to the set itself when she inspired the design of the Lovegood house. Lynch created drawings of magical beasts in the style of Luna herself, which were used as a reference for the paintings that ultimately covered every inch of the Lovegood home. But Ivana Lynch made sure not to ignore her beloved character, inventing the dance Luna and her father perform at Bill Weasley and Fleur Delacour's wedding.
She's so in touch with her spirit that she's not really affected by other people.
Hopefully someday Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint will make an official rule book for Dangerball, so we can all play.
I haven't really thought about it, because we've still got a long way to go yet on this one.
And we would have done anything to be with the cast and crew on the final day of filming. The tears would have been flowing for sure. What was your favorite behind-the-scenes fact?